Did you know YNW Melly's release date was set by the judge? It would read, a second bond hearing for YNW Melly has been set for Tuesday, May 6, 2025. According to the Broward County Clerk, Melly's attorney Raven Liberty will be presenting the argument for the rap star's bond. As a lawyer that was sitting inside of the courtroom during that announcement would write, Judge Fein in the Melly case looks to be seriously contemplating a dismissal. He looks pissed. And the state continues to act like a penalty case is a petty annoyance, not observing any orders and not preparing for any hearings, which has been an ongoing issue for YNW Melly's hearings and trials for as long as I could remember. But this resulted in Melly's lawyers giving reasons as to why he should be released, and they kept it very simple, telling the newly added Judge Fein that during the original trial, there was never even a firearm found, which would support Melly's theory of it happening as a drive-by.
So the first thing is I didn't have a firearm, so I can't know which I'm going to use in order to replicate any of my tests. So I can't make tests for this determination because I don't know what was used.
Okay.
While also sharing GPS evidence from when the crime was going down, where Melly's cell phone was sitting in his pocket, where GPS evidence shows Melly running down a street and hiding into a bush when the crime was going down.
That would be the part where he's saying that someone just shot the car up and was trying to shoot them. So I asked him if he was okay, where he was, and he's like, there's a car coming behind him, like hiding. He was like, there's some, yeah, he's like, yeah, there's some, I think they're still out here or something. So I'm like, are you okay? He's like, I'm okay. I said, well, where are Sack and Juvie? And he said, I don't know if they're in the car. I think they're.
As Judge Fein has a track record for allowing people to have the chances of being released until trial begins, just like Melly's ex-girlfriend Mariah, who would be released from jail where she would acknowledge her friends and family who supported her while being detained in a Facebook post on Sunday, February 9th. The post reads, "Into my village, thank you to my village, I love you all so much, God's plan not mine," as she allegedly didn't like how it was broadcasted on the local news, but she was thankful to be released.
Mariah Hamilton is spending her first day at the Broward County Jail. She has no arrest record until now. U.S. Border Patrol agents arrested her at Miami International Airport Monday after she arrived on an international flight. Court records show Hamilton was ordered to testify in Demon's first trial in 2023.
Which is then what led into Judge Fein yelling at the prosecutors, telling them that YNW Melly will be released if they don't give him a reason to not let him. It would be announced Melly has to make an informed decision about who he wants his lawyers to be. He's been sitting in her jail for 2,159 days, leaving everyone, including Melly, very surprised.
No, but let me repeat myself. Mr. Demons has to make an informed decision about who he wants his lawyers to be. He's now been sitting in our jail for 2,159 days. So, how long would you like to be able to make that decision?
I can't determine when the investigation will be over. That's up to the Broward Sheriff's Office, but I can, as I said, I'm just asking for a week. And then I'm asking for at least a day or two.
You would decide by tomorrow. I've also reserved all of tomorrow.
As the judge couldn't believe Melly's been sitting in jail for 2,100 days, he told the prosecutors, give us a reason why he shouldn't be free, or I'm releasing him on a bond. This then resulted in the prosecutors sharing a few reasons why Melly shouldn't be free. You tell me if he sounds guilty. They would reveal in court a rogue O-Block member snitched on YNW Melly, revealing his motive to commit the crime, as Melly wasn't wanting to share his finances with the other YNW members.
Did Vaughn really tell you that Melly told him that he was two friends?
He ain't come out and say, like, we got into an argument. And so, you know, if you know, when people could say something without saying it. And so he told me, like, once I posted what I posted, Vaughn was mad at me. Bro, why you put up there, bro? What the bam? I'm like, you sitting up here, like, you know the love we got. You do this for us, but you gonna trust that his two friends? And he said, them was trying to extort him. And so I'm like, if they was trying to extort him, then why are you still around him?
This was supposed to be a secret that YNW Melly told King Von many years ago. Sadly, Von shared it with O-Block members before passing away, as YNW is a registered business LLC, where YNW Melly and Bortlen performed concerts, sold merch, did promotions, and all of the money made would then be funneled into the YNW LLC bank account. At first, everything was split 4 ways between the 4 members, but as time went on, Melly realized Sack Chaser and Juvie weren't doing any work, yet they were getting half of the split. So if you know anything about how King Von would handle his own situations, you can likely guess how he would have told Melly to handle it. But when you pair it with evidence found on Melly's phone, this is where it gets very bad. He sent a text message hours after the crime, literally admitting to it.
The PC Gambino account asked him if he was okay, and his response was, "I did that," and placed a smiley face emoji.
And the next message from 10/26/2018 at 16:02 from Eastern Standard Time. The YNW Melly account says what?
After that, SHHHH.
But also found on Melly's phone was a saved video from somebody's Facebook Live, where it shows Melly and Bortlen's reaction to the crime only 6 hours after it was committed, recording a music video in a parking lot.
Melly still turned regardless of what happened this early morning. He's still out here being very positive. Turned still. Hey! No, still turned, regardless of what happened. You already know.
Showing not even an ounce of sadness for the passing of their 2 best friends, but this would then even lead into the lead prosecutor sharing the physical evidence of the crime, such as the Jeep they were driving in, where he would tell Judge Fein there is no way this could have been a drive-by by sharing evidence from the original trial.
How many rounds were inside of the car?
3. From the driver's side back seat.
As to the shot that Christopher Thomas, where did that come from?
Driver's side back seat.
Oh.
My determination was that this is not a drive-by, and it's based upon this picture here at a stationary position when all but one of these rounds are going in. The one round that has some movement in it, which is round site L here, the actually moving in that.
As with Williams revealing the crime must have occurred inside of the vehicle, YNW Juvie's mother even went to the stand to share who was sitting there in the back left seat.
Can you state your name, your full legal name for the jury?
Leon Phillips.
Okay. And are you related to one of the victims in this case?
Yes, I am.
How so?
I'm his mother.
And who is that?
Christopher Thomas.
Ms. Phillips, did you see who entered into the occupants who entered into that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Do you recognize where your son entered that gray Jeep?
Yes.
Which seat, if you can identify for the jury?
He got in the back seat on the right hand side.
Did you recognize the individual that got into the back seat on the left side, the rear driver's side?
Yes.
And who was that individual?
Janelle.
But sadly, the prosecutors, they weren't done here. They would do the worst thing imaginable, and let me explain. They would end up creating a plan to make YNW Bortlen snitch against YNW Melly, as the prosecutors are now sending in paperwork to have Bortlen and Melly tried together for one specific reason.
Issue here, and you can try them together. It is to the benefit of the state to try them together. It just more efficient. You don't have to do things again and again. Do it all at once, and also you get a better chance of having them incriminate each other during the trial. It benefits the defense to sever it. That way they can point the finger at each other and get away with it. So this is what's going on. But I don't think it should be automatically severed because the state is seeking a penalty for Melly, because it's only the penalty phase of the trial that would be different, not the guilt phase. The guilt phase is the same. They're both capital crimes. You're seeking the penalty on one, not the other, but that goes into the second part of the trial, the penalty phase, only if Melly is found guilty.
It's very common sense. If Bortlen knows that he didn't commit this serious of a crime, he won't physically be able to sit there on the stand and take life in prison to the chin, making it very likely he will then point the finger against Melly, as he's not going to throw his entire life away for a crime he didn't commit. But what you didn't know is Melly's lawyer already tried pinning this against YNW Bortlen. Let's rewind to the first day of the YNW Melly trial, where Melly's lawyer blames Bortlen.
Those were his lies. Cortland Henry shows up at Memorial Hospital, Miramar. And you don't see him sitting there, but where you will see him sitting is in the driver's seat of a car with two bodies, a car riddled with bullets. And when he shows up with a change of clothing, change of shirt, powder residue on his hands, evidencing that he had discharged a firearm. And he lies. He lies about where the incident occurred. He lies about how it occurred. And he lies about not having a phone. I think it was Miss Bradley herself who said, everybody has a phone in his pocket, not Cortland Henry.
Revealing that it's always been Bortlen that had been lying to the feds. He was the one with powder on his hands, and he was the one with Juvie and Sack Chaser when they passed away. And let me remind you, Bortlen was never even allowed to defend himself due to legal reasons. But imagine during the next trial, Bortlen's sitting beside Melly. He's not going to sit there quietly, as Melly's lawyer team are going to just reuse everything they did in the first trial, as Melly's lawyers are even going to bring back the forensic scientist that covered the passings to go into further detail about YNW Bortlen having the powder residue on his hands.
So the right hand of Cortland Henry contained 0 particles characteristic of powder residue and two component particles, and the left hand contained 1 particle characteristic of powder residue and 1 2-component particle.
Okay. And can you explain to us what that means?
Basically, overall, there was residue present on the hands.
It's very clear Bortlen didn't like this at all. This is why when Melly's mistrial was granted, a report shared, YNW Bortlen tweets a mysterious message on the same day Melly's mistrial was declared. The tweet shared, "Mind games don't work on people like me," alongside a handshake emoji as if he's accepting some sort of deal. But this is far from the last issue that YNW Melly is facing. It would be announced, YNW Melly's mom trends after she announces she started a fans account while he stands trial, to then being featured on an interview speaking on why she did it and how much money she made.
Why did you decide to break the internet the other day? You're saying that you're YNW Melly's mom and you're about to hit fans.
Why not? You make money while you sleep, and you know, I turned 40 this year. Why not do something crazy?
Did you start it yet though?
What? My only? Yeah.
How much you made the first day? I just need to know the first day.
The first day was pretty epic. It was pretty epic.
Give me a ballpark figure.
Like 40-ish, 50.
One day?
Day one.
This would take the internet by storm. Even DJ Academics had to share.
So YNW Melly's mom has announced that she's going to be starting her own. And I got to be honest with y'all, man. Like, this is perplexing. The reason why it's perplexing is because I can't understand why she's doing this. Your son is fighting for his life. How much, you know, there's certain mothers in hip hop, and you probably could name a few, I won't name all of them, that I feel like their son became stars, but they also wanted to be stars as well. Blueface's mom is one of them. The situation between Melly's mom and Melly, I always thought was interesting, but I never thought she'd be doing this. If you're wondering if she's doing this for money, this can't be a money play. Like, no way, no how.
As while Academics claims it's not about money, social media would disagree. As a No Jumper interview from 2 years ago with Adam, B-Slime, and Jamie King would show Adam 22 telling Melly's mother he imagines Melly has spent a lot of money on lawyers, while her sitting back and laughing resulted in Melly's brother B-Slime calling out Melly for his many dumb purchases.
I would assume
that
he spent a lot of money on lawyers. Like an amount that would probably...
That kid spent a lot of money on a lot of things that shouldn't have been spent on.
Really? Like what else?
and cars, jewelry. And he's not even out to wear the jewelry. I'm like, why are you buying jewelry and you're not here to wear the jewelry?
No, definitely lawyers are probably the best thing you can spend.
That's
money
what
on.
bro. But he's good with lawyers, bro. Like, money ain't an issue for lawyers. Like, he's fine, but it's just like, it was a lot of stuff that should have went to lawyers that he didn't spend on lawyers. And I'm like, bro. And now it's like, he don't even want the chain no more.